Baby, it's on me.
This is Cool Scene by the Dandy Warhols from 13 Tales from Urban Bohemia. And I'll have a little more to say about that in a second, but for now I'm going to just pause it. I don't want to be silenced for the movie Recum View that I'm about to do. Oh, that's what I meant to call it in the title. I totally forgot I was gonna do that. Well, I'm ScatterBreaker. I always, it's funny. I don't know. I'm ScatterBreaker. So don't listen to me. Well, that should be my own advice, but to myself. But I need to get actually set up. I as always, press the button before I'm ready. But you know what? I might actually watch these windows a little bit here too. But I just saw the movie Seance, which I had not seen anything about, and I did not know what I was in for. But I'm glad that I went, and actually, even though, you might be used to me just saying, go see every movie on the big screen, like, they're making a lot of good ones. I mean, like, a lot of the things that are on Netflix should be seen on the big screen, before they're seen on the small screen, I'd say. Mostly because you wouldn't make an extra trip to go out to see something somewhere far away from your house if you've already seen it at your house. So it's better to go see it away first and then at your leisure later. That would be my recommendation for all movies. And so I would never necessarily say don't go to any movie. I would say I would say sometimes, like, there might be a better one to see before you see this one, or that sort of thing, but as far as I'm never gonna necessarily say don't support this movie or whatever, but I might say, you might not find the greatest whatever or whatever, but in this one I would actually say that you will find a lot of really good things. I need to get a breath of air. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Seance, and then I'm going to put on the music and hope that they don't silence the part where I don't have music on. I don't think they would. And it's gone on long enough that if they had silenced the first part, the silencing would be over by now, I think. I think is how that would work. Oh yeah, I was going to show you earlier how I had this set up. So I had this, like, this thing right here, and I had this sticking to this and this sticking under here, and I have that one, and then this one over here. And then this was, I have to actually put the phone in it to actually see how it works, but once the phone's in it, it spreads out, and then it holds it that way. So I guess that's where it needs to be, but it's like already stretched all the way up to there, and then I have to hold that onto it. So that's made for a very messy windshield there, but I cleaned the outside of the windshield now, and the phone will be going through the part, or the camera will be going through the part that I've already cleaned on the outside. All those little dots are at the top, so it should be okay. But I've said I'm ScatterBreaker, and it's in the title anyway, so. And actually, Seance is in the title as well, right? I think I actually did put that in there. So I'm going to talk about Seance, and then get back to the Dandy Warhols radio, I guess. I need to. Like, how am I going to do this? I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to put this up in here. what am I even thinking, you know? It's like, okay, let's put it in the bottom first, because I've already kind of broken the bottom of this thing. And I gotta lift the top over the edge of the phone. And I'm gonna lift this up. There we go. Is that good? Yeah, those little dots are not exactly in the right place. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so, and I'm not talking about Spanish cheese. Whew, man. So, just what I will say about Dandy Warhols real quick first is I was saying earlier that I didn't like a lot of the songs that were coming on and as a random sort of thing with the Dandy Warhols music, or just like, you know, randomly based on one random Dandy Warhol song or whatever, or album. But I do actually like a lot of those things, like Stone Roses, and it was just like some that I was like, oh, well, they're not really, I guess they're not really driving music, you know, and in a way the ones I've just been listening to are not really driving music unless it's like through a meadow or something, you know. But that one right before, I was like, and I didn't think it was Dandy Warhols when I was hearing it, and I was like, oh, that's another song that I remember from back in the day, and whenever I was listening to Dandy Warhols. It's been a while actually for some reason. I don't know what brought them up again recently, but let me turn down the brightness on this thing. Yeah. So I was like, oh, this is another band that I don't remember from back in the day, you know, like, but I remember hearing this all the time, and like, oh, that's cool. And then it turns out it was the Dandy Warhols. So like, so far the ones I like the most on the Dandy Warhol station is the Dandy Warhols. But yeah, this one is Godless, and the one right before it was, let me just give it back just to see what it was. It almost felt like my car was like rolling to maybe it was Godless. No. Yeah. Not unless it was Not If You Were the Last Junkie on Earth. I'll have to like listen to that whenever I start this show, so that I can actually talk about that one. But whenever I start the radio part of the show, the rodeo, I should say, like on the road, EO, yeah. So this is my recom view for Seance. The recom part is for like recommend. Do I recommend it or not? Yes. The review is, will I review it? Yes. Review will be forthcoming. I'm only going to talk a little bit about it, because what I would like to actually more than anything recommend is that you do go see it on the big screen. And I don't want to tell you too much about it. I don't know exactly. I have to really plan ahead to not reveal too much if I do talk about it. But I will say that there are a lot of things that are unexpected in it, so it's kind of hard to talk about in that way, like, because you don't want to give anything away by saying, and then, you know, I don't know, I can't even think of how I would mess it up, but I would mess it up, and I know that I would, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it was definitely cool, like, different sort of things that were happening, like, you thought it was one thing, then it was another, whatever. And we sort of talked about that, like about the other one last night, Separation. But I would say definitely go see Seance before you see Separation on the big screen. And Separation might even be good on the small screen, because the effects were not that great, and on this one they were really good. There was a lot of yeah, it was like, I was like, a lot of the time, because it's like, oh man. Like, that looks like an open room like that looks like a violent sort of thing that just happened there. So I don't know if this is good or not. This lighting is this okay? It's kind of weird. I mean, it's weird to drive with this light on, but yeah, like oh, you know, I'm gonna roll this up. We're not in Kansas anymore. We're heading out on the highway, so and by Kansas I just meant the access road, or the little roads where the wind's not that great, you know. So yes, definitely go see Seance. The acting was good, like the characterization was good. I felt like I really kind of believed the characters, and the music was awesome. Like, oh, what was it? Oh, I can't remember now. The music by, oh, I almost had it. Like, I almost remembered it. I feel like I almost remembered it, but it's hard to know when you don't remember things how it feels to remember them, or to almost remember them, because really it's not like you remember them at all. So how do you remember how close you were to remembering it? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Anyway, what was I even talking about? I have no idea. Something about remembering what, though? I can't even remember what I was talking about. Anyway, the music. Oh yeah, I couldn't remember the name of. It said music by, and it sounded like a DJ name maybe or something like that. And it was really good. It was kind of reminding me of like Donnie Darko, kind of esque, or maybe even Stranger Things, like the way the synth kind of music, like the electronic, and it was pretty heavy electronic too. Like, I wasn't disappointed in the music at all. Like, where you might think like all these like teenage girls that would be listening to like pop music, and at some point the main girl, I don't know any of their names. I'd have to really research that before doing my final review, but this is just the Recom view, so my first thoughts really. And you should check out first, you know what, I'm gonna have probably about